Hey guys, welcome back again. I'm doing another ring pour, the one I did earlier. This one, wasn't quite happy with that one. That one is a little bit thicker in the mix, 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part Global paint. I am going for more of this look, a thinner paint. Rings aren't as defined, but they do have some cells in them which I really like. So I'm going to try for that effect again today. So I've mixed up my paints. Got some aqua, some navy, some light green, and some white. And those have all been mixed 3 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. And I'm using Global that, Global Impasto. It's quite a thick paint, it's like yogurt, you can spoon it out. So I want a few little cells, so I'm going to use coconut milk hair serum in this pour, and I just put it into my little squeezy bottle so I can get 1 drop out. I'm going to put 1 drop in each colour, not in the white, like so, and I'm going to stir it really well. Normally you wouldn't be stirring silicone in, because you don't want little cells, but I do want little cells this time, so mixing it in really well. Get it to go right through those colours. And hopefully I'll get lots of little cells, because I don't want big cells in this, I just want little dotty cells around in the rings. And then we've got the white, but no silicone in the white. That's also mixed 3 to 1. Put those to the side, turn my sheet over. Got a little bit of background white that I've made that a little bit thinner. That one is 4 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. So whatever I'm using as a paint mix, if it's 3 parts Floetrol, I'll make the background 4 parts. If I'm using 2 parts Floetrol for a pour, I use 3 parts Floetrol for the background, just to keep it thinner, because you want your pour to float around easily on your background. So always make your background a little bit thinner. It spreads well. Use my little spatula here to spread it out. So in my colours I've got 90 grams of Floetrol and 30 grams of paint, so 1 to 3. So each cup, 120 grams of paint. And that should be enough. 3 cups at 120 to do this ring pour. Especially since we've already got background covered. So I've got a little bit of white on, blue on that, won't matter. Going to be covering it all up. Okay, that's that background done. Move paints out of the way. Let's put that there so I can remember where that was. Mess from previous pours. Right, here's the jug, and I'm going to spray it with silicone spray. Normally I'd wipe that out, but I'm just going to leave that in there and see what happens. That'll just help the paint flow easily out of the jug. So, start pouring our colours in. Go darkest to lightest with the colours, just pour them down the side so that they don't mix too much. I do like a little bit of green in with the blues. Back to white. I haven't tried this before, this ratio of paints with a tiny bit of silicone, so let's see what happens. I do like experimenting. And then when you find something that you're happy with, that works, then that's when you do that on your big canvas. No point practicing with all this paint, it gets expensive on big canvases. Might as well do little test pours. And then when you're happy, pop it on your big canvas. Alright, let's finish with a little bit of white, and that's it. There's a lot of paint there. There is 450 mils of paint, which is probably going to be too much. Now I'm not going to do little tiny pours, I'm going to do quite big circles because I want some definition between, or some space between the rings. I don't want tiny little rings. And away we go. You can see I'm pouring bigger rings, so they will be thicker, there will be more space between them. Hopefully it will be pretty. My last pour I used a colour called Cool Blue. It does throw a bit of a purple hue. I didn't really like that, so I've left it out of this pour and just gone with the navy, the aqua and the green. Catch the drips so that you don't have a big streak across, and I think that will be enough. I don't want to put too much on because I'm really liking this colour on the edge here. The more you pour in the centre, the muddier the colours get. You can see you've got nice defined lines of blues there, and in the middle they have muddied a little bit. So try not to put too much paint in your cup. Right, start tilting. As we stretch the paint, we should get some cells popping up. The paint rubs against each other, create cells. Let's help that down into the corner there. Bring the weight of the paint back to the centre. Turn it around so that you can see this corner. Aim for that corner. And leave a little bit of white there, because I do like the white. I'm not getting a lot of white in the pour. Right, we'll go for this corner next. Go over the edge on this one, help it along a little bit, and back to the centre. Turn that around. Go for that last corner. I'll stretch it a little bit more. I like how it's stretching here. I like the wider bands of colour rather than the little skinny bands. I think it's nice to have a bit of both, some wider and some narrower. Work well.